and welcome to my channel That Shift Happens. I've wanted to create a YouTube channel for a long time now, and I thought what better time than to do it now when I've recently bought my dream car. As most of you would have seen in my first video and a couple of other shorts that I've posted, I own a Mark 6 Golf R. They're super rare, and it's sort of what leads me to do this first video. My car's actually an import, so I want to do a video, sort of help anyone who's looking to buy an import, let them know the things to look out for, just to make sure that what you're buying is in fact legit. So please stay tuned. I'd really appreciate it for anyone new coming to this channel to just like and subscribe. It would mean the absolute world. Yeah, here we go. The things you should always be wary about is mileage on a car. Usually with a 10-15-year-old car, you'd expect the mileage to be quite high. So seeing a car with very low mileage is going to open some questions. When I found my car, it was at 38,000 miles. I did think that's too good to be true, but the car was absolutely immaculate. It was a private seller, and the company that they bought it from, I did my research, and they're a very legit company. So I just wanted to be extra sure, and I actually paid for a report online. There's a report called CarVX, and it's about £25. It will give you the entire history of that car. So this was an import from Japan. So I had all the Japanese history, and basically it verified that the mileage on the car was in fact correct, had not been altered in any way. It also shows you if there's been any previous damage. You know, usually the sort of thing you can get using Car Vertical and stuff like that for cars in the UK. That unfortunately won't work on a car that's been imported. So it's very handy to know that there is something that you can get online that doesn't actually cost a lot, that basically puts all your worries at bay. So another thing I learned buying an import is that you would need to get the undersealing done. And what I mean by that is it's a rust-proof treatment which protects the underneath from all the grit and salt that we would get in the winter that Japan fortunately don't have. And it just basically protects the underneath for any further damage. It's definitely worth doing. Luckily, when I bought mine, the previous owner had already had it done, so mine is all prepared for the winter. I think it's something you have to maintain over the years. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely something to be wary of when you buy an import. If you're buying it from a garage, I think you can request for it to be done if it hasn't been done already. If not, I definitely recommend getting it done yourself. This one may affect people differently. However, insurance on imports can be considerably higher. This will be because the insurance companies don't really want to insure cars with very little repair history. It's a big risk, but when I insured mine, it came up with quite a few different insurance companies that would insure my car. So for me, I didn't struggle, but I have heard that people have found it difficult to insure their cars because they're imports, and because of this have ended up paying a much higher premium. So it's definitely one to look out for. I'd say that one last thing to be really mindful of is if you ever were to resell the car, being an import, it might affect the resale value. This is mainly because people are very skeptical when buying imports, which is one of the main reasons I'm doing this video, to let people know that actually if you do your research and make sure you have those boxes checked, an import is actually a very good road to go down. I got mine from a private seller. They were very trustworthy. They loved their cars, probably very OCD with their car maintenance, which meant that everything was just done, everything was taken care of. So I was very fortunate in that sense. But before that, I did want a UK spec, and trying to find one of those is a needle in a haystack. Honestly, if you find one, it's usually, you know, don't get me wrong, I love a modified car, but usually these cars are modded to the absolute max. They've been ragged about, and the mileage on them is just sky high, so you can only really expect problems when you buy them. The good thing about imports, like I explained, is if you can get one with legit low mileage, you know, you're looking at a 10-15-year-old car that's barely been driven. There's pros and cons to that. You know, I've only been driving mine a few months and I've loved every minute. However, if a car hasn't been driven, I guess you wouldn't know if there's going to be any issue, so that's all part of the fun. But anyway, I was set on a UK spec, and then I really, you know, I became quite open to having an import, and I'm really glad that I did. And that's why I wanted to do this video, is just help other people who have, you know, the same questions that I did, and hopefully it gives people more guidance and a lot of help, really. I definitely recommend the CarVX report. I've put the link in my description, so give that a go if you are looking at buying an import. It can really help you out a lot and can save a lot of time. But that concludes my video. Obviously, I haven't covered every single step, but I feel like I have covered the main ones and maybe ones that people wouldn't really know about. So if you are still watching, I really appreciate you staying to the end of the video. Again, if you could like and subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. I'm going to do some more videos. Leave any feedback in the comments or anything you want me to cover. Yeah, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.